Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. So, bought one of these power supplies, these AC/DC power supply, AC in, DC out, for a project I'm doing. I've got me, if you look at on the site, you'll find a link to a video I've done for the diesel heater, and this is what this is for. So this is, these you've seen them probably around. It's a power supply. This is going to be attached to the side of the diesel heater, plugged into the bin, so I can get at least 9 amps. I want at least 9 amps for the glow plug, just while it starts up and when it cools down. What I'm doing at the moment, I plug it into my solar batteries and it works a treat, but the project I'm doing with it for this year, so last year it was winter, it was great, I couldn't get the heat into the house off there. It's great for the shed. It kept the shed nice and toasty warm. It was like glorious. So if I'm doing any work in the shed in the winter, that's the thing. And it's pretty quiet. Exhaust goes outside, so I'm going to drill a 52mm hole through the conservatory wall for the exhaust. I'm going to make a tunnel so the gases can go through, and it's going to be separated with another internal tube, so heat doesn't go out. And then the diesel heater is going to put the air from the conservatory through some double doors, and I'm going to make a long so when I close it, it's going to be like about this much gap with a hole in it. So I can close the conservatory door, there's a round hole in left, and then it's going to go into the dining room and into the house and just spread through the house. That's the plan, and I'll show you that when I get it done. So that's what this is for. I've bought myself a decent diamond drill to get through there rather than carbide ones, and a few other things, and some extendable aluminium tubing for the heat. Anyway, so this, according to this, it says, there's the wiring diagram if you can see that. It says it's 110/240, so check that the switch is set to 240. Now I don't know where that is. There it is. Okay, so it's set to 220. Just make sure if you're on 240 like it was in the UK, then you want that to 220, and then obviously if you're using 110, set it to the other one, otherwise you blow it up. Other things it says, it's got a diagram showing you all your terminals. You've got down this side a pot, a variable potentiometer, and a light, so you can adjust the. So I have one of these on one of my printers, and you can slightly tweak the power to get the right current and right amps for the heated bed. So you can tweak that if you need to, the voltage adjustment, plus a minus 10%. And then you've got the blue ones are going to be your plus and your negative DC terminals. Then you've got a earth, live and neutral. Dead simple. Yeah, nothing like, oh, there's another diagram on there I haven't seen. It's just showing if you're wiring things up, some LED lights and things. Okay, so it's all aluminium case, it's all sealed. I've had one of these on one of my printers for like maybe 2 or 3 years, 4 years, and it's been fine. The only thing I did do to the one of the printers, I took the aluminium cover off, took the fan out, and I cut that. So I done away with the middle bit just to make the fan a bit more efficient. That's the only thing. And I think I cut a couple of these off because it's in a plastic cover as well, just to maximise. I would cut them out to let as much air as I could. Back seems okay. Make sure that there's a plastic film in there I can see, so it's not going to be touching this, so that's pretty cool. But what I will do before I use it, I'll buzz this out and we'll have a little look. Obviously if I do that I can't send it back, so I don't know what to do, but they seem pretty good. Got this from Amazon, so if I do, I'm not going to open it. I should really. I always like to have a look in to see whether, because these come from China obviously. Out of there. Oh, quite scary, it doesn't even say China on. Anyhow, what's it say on here? Played in a built-in fan, what? Oh, that's not good. Pass model, da da da. But like I say, it looks okay. And it's quite nice to see that plastic film inside the PCB board. So what I'll do is, I'll power it up, I'll show you working. I will test it to see whether the voltages are correct, and then well, after that I'll fix it to the side of the heater, and then I'll try to shoot it getting it working. But while that's happening, it's probably 3 or 4 months has passed, and because I've got to drill a hole and get everything working in the wall and everything, and I haven't even welded all that up yet. So that's what I'm going to do for the winter, so I'll have this working for the winter, but for you it'll only be in one video. So I'll be back shortly when I'll power this up. Alright guys, so that's what I've done so far. So I've put the box on there, the power supply, PSU. I've also bought a coupler, and I'm holding that coupler on just with a bungee. So that's this is like that. I've tried it all out, it works absolutely great. It's just ready for the winter now. What I'm going to do is put another cable tie on there, bring it up like obviously from the other side. Take this off and show you this first. So this is just a bungee, and it's a bit snug. Okay, let me just get this side so I can show you that. So what I've done, but before then, I'm going to bring this round, cable tie it onto there, and that's going to be there. I've drilled this onto there, so it's got screws. It's not that great, but it's enough to hold it. And then this 3D printed. I need to come this side so I can see the screen, because I can't actually see what I'm talking about. So that's 3D printed, because on the front obviously these little 4 ones, which are no good to me. And then I've got this 2 little holes in there, which allows the bungee, but this actually just fits in like that. It's like so. It's quite a tight fit. That's ABS, so it's like, I tried to actually heat this plastic up and mould it so it fits around there, but it just wouldn't melt. This thing is like super hot. And there's the information if you want to buy one of these. Okay, let's get this camera sorted out. Testing 1 2. Okay, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well. So it's been quite a while since I started this diesel heater. I've actually got it set up now. I'm going to show you it in the conservatory, and it's going to be heating up this area. Yeah, behind me is the conservatory. You'll probably see it there, just on the floor. I'll also leave the doors open, so I can just my living room basically. Yeah, so I'll switch over to the heater. We'll have a little look at that. Okay, so this, if I just go back a bit, that's my conservatory, and then there's my living room space, kitchen this side. So what's going to happen is it's going to come through this door, and I'm moving a bit quick here, but the heat's going to come through this door. I'm going to close it, slide the door up to about, like say, that position. And I've got to make like a piece of wood to go right up to the top and then down with a hole in it, and then that piece of conduit, which is, let's open this, today's just a test to see if it all works. So that's a conduit I bought, if you're interested. It's aluminium. It extends to 3 meters. That's about 1 meter, but it extends to 3. I've left it in the wrapper. I haven't opened it. It just fits over the end of that thing there. And you can see I've got a bungee cord on, and there's a power supply. There's my cable. I mean, it's probably like 10 amps, so any cable will do, but that's a heavy duty cable which goes to a socket just in that corner anyway. I don't really need to see that. And then it's on 2 legs. Oh, you can see the exhaust coming down, so it needs to be off the ground, obviously, which that is. Nothing really more. I mean, here, this is really important, so I can take that off. 3D. In the other video, or the other clip earlier on, I showed you the 3D printed part. I don't know where you can see through there. It may not come through on camera, but there's this one is the one with the 4 holes. Yeah, it's actually turned on now. I didn't realise it was on. Through the exhaust, goes like that. Through the wall. I'll just talk about this for a second. So, the nail down. So what I've done is made a plate. There's a tube, a steel tube runs all the way through to the other side, and a little disc. I just welded a little disc. So we're not using that. Closes and opens, and it's got rubber seal on there, so it doesn't actually get hot. So I've actually tried it. There's a steel tube or line that goes all the way through, and it's just resting on the tube, as you can see. Yeah, and then at the other end, the exhaust. Same thing on the other side with a little flap and an exhaust. I'll show you that once I get started. There's my remote. And that's it really. What I'm going to do now is I'll just pause the video a second, I'll get started, and I'll come back and I'll show you it all working. Right guys, so it's all started up first time. You can see this is only obviously to see what it's like, and the hot air coming out of there is was that in the lowest. And the aluminium tube is like red hot. That is burning me. That's burning me hand there. Obviously it's going to be higher, probably about it's the same height as it comes out of there. So I need to find a piece of plywood or something so I can shut the door, and then just hot air will come out from the other side like a trunk, and I'll make something up. I just thought I'd try this out. It's ticking over there, the way you can hear it. Nice and clean, no smoke at all. The way you can see through there, but the exhaust just down. I'll show you in a minute, but anyway, I'm not going out yet, but no smoke at all. Didn't even, I mean, I did clean it out before I'd done this, but there's the screen, if I can point it on it. It's on 192 on the lowest. Yeah, that's 192. If I go up, there's the exhaust. It's working fine. It's only been on like 10 minutes, so I just thought it started fast. Let's take it right up to max. So we've got 190, it'll be a few minutes before that kicks in. I can hear it ramping up already. There's the exhaust. This is just cold. That will be hot, obviously. A quick look at the exhaust while we just put these out the road. Just got one hand, so I'm using one hand, and You can see it just, when I'm finished, I just close this. But that's freezing cold. What's the noise of it? Perfect. That's great. Back in. I've got to do a bit of work on that tubing. I'm not happy with that because it's just, this is actually a little bit too big, so I'll try and make another adapter to fit over there so I can put a clamp on it, and then just take this off with this in one piece. But that there is just like, you can't hold that, it's hot. I'm wondering where this will melt. Although I did put this in boiling water, tried to melt it, so I was going to mould it round, it wouldn't work. Now that's up to 198. Let's have a look. 198, 200. Come back in a minute. That heat will be unreal in there. Oh yes, I mean, once it's closed off and then you close the door, it's going to heat up the full house. All this, I mean, I can feel the heat in here now. It's like, it's not winter, so the autumn's just started. Sorry about that, guys. My camera battery went on my cell phone, and I had to switch over to the other camera. Anyhow, this thing's been running for 2.5 hours now, and I've put it on the Alpine mode, so it's on the lowest setting. So you can see where we can focus on this. Yeah, 172 centigrade. Yeah, and that's on the very low setting on the screen. It's working great. The hot air coming in through the aluminium tubing is warming up the dining room area, and then obviously the hot air is going to go to the ceiling, and it's going to push the cold air back. Yeah, so hot air is going to obviously rise and circle back like this. So the cold air is going to rush in from the bottom, hot air is going to rise, it's going to fill the top of the ceiling up. Once it gets down to the height of the doors, it'll spill over into the next room, and so on and so on. So it's probably going to take about 3 or 4 hours to warm up, because I've got the kitchen door open, which is like that way. Yeah, that's the kitchen door, and then it's the living room. It's going to warm all that up, but then it's going to go up the stairs, and then it goes up the stairs and into the loft. Although I could close the loft hatch, so it's going to like get dispersed all over the place. I can tell straight away after about an hour, where I'm sitting in the front living room, it's comfortable. I haven't got a bloody thermometer to measure it, but there's the one in the kitchen, and that says it's comfortable, where before it was cool. So it's warmed the kitchen up a little bit, and so on. It's working a treat. What I normally do, because that's going to be the end of the video now, I don't want to wait until I make the other bit, because it's I need to find some, like a strip of to go up this side, so when I close the doors, I'm not heating up the conservatory for no reason type of thing. So I think I'll just do that later on, but it's working absolutely great. I need to put a clip on there, get that, just get a Jubilee clip, clamp it on, and then I'll take it off with the bungees and just put it on when I need to. The exhaust working great. I'll just check to see whether this is warm. Before it was cold, it's barely, like, it's not even skin temperature. Yeah, so that's actually good. Happy with that. This thing gets really hot here. Yeah. So overall it's working great. So you only really need the power pack really to keep it running, and uses about a couple of amps, but it uses about 10 amps when the glow plug kicks in. And that was a full tank. Let's have a look. After 2 hours, yeah, it's still full. I can't see anything. Yeah, still the same height. Obviously it's used something. But the ticking of the pump, it's about like this, tick, 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 tick. That's the rate. That's with the Alpine mode on the low setting. So I think I'd done some measurements before in my other video where I was getting like, out of a litre, I was getting like 10 hours or something like that out of a litre of diesel. I can't remember, but anyway, if you watch that video, if you find it on the channel, it's I marked it with a gauge, and I run it for an hour and then 2 hours and so on, and then had a look on the tank to see where it was. But I'm just burning diesel, white diesel. Can't seem to get red diesel anywhere, but it's the same stuff. It's just red for agriculture and things like that. So I just go down to the pump. But if you could get red diesel a bit cheaper, you can burn other things. But I'm just going to stick with burning just white diesel, and then I want to take it to bits, have a look inside, and see what the effects of, like, say, I don't know, like a month's worth of burnt diesel looks like on the inside. And then I might try with some paraffin mixed in and see how, if you mix a bit of paraffin in with it, will it be burn hotter, cleaner, like for the combustion, so like for soot and things like that. Anyway guys, I'm going to end the video here because it's working. Normally what I do before I go is, before I shut this thing down, I'll ramp it right up to maximum, 220 centigrade, leave that for about 10 minutes, blast, and that's going to decoke anything. Although it should be alright here. It's just so, like, if you do that, then when you start it again, then it's all clean. You haven't got any unbent soot and things. But yeah, this thing's quite quiet. When I close that door, I can hear, like, when it burns, and then there's like a bit of a like vibrator where it burns and unbent. I'm not sure what that noise is, whether it's just a, but it's not the same noise. It changes, it goes zzz, zzz, when it burns. I think it's just the combustion. When it squirts something in, it does a good burn, and then there's a second or two, then it does it again when it squirts more fuel, and I think that's what it's doing when it's a catalyzer. Right, so any comments, leave below guys. Thanks for watching. Give us a like, give us a subs. I'm struggling with subs, so any questions, leave below, and I'll catch you next one. Thanks for watching. Cheers.